friends, Renee Keys here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with card making ideas for you today. Today I'm going to focus on the Cheers and Sips bundle. This is actually a suite, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes with it. But today I'm going to do some pretty simple stamping using these stamps. I will show you the dies that come with this. Can be a lot of fun because you can die cut the different glasses shapes. You can emboss texture on this big tall glass. You can die cut the little fruit stamps that come with this. You can die cut the umbrella and some of the leaves and just really have some fun with this. Plus it goes with the paper, but I'll get into all that in another video. Today is really about just some simple stamping. So I'm going to flip the camera down and show you what I'm starting with here. I actually pulled, I just wanted a subtle little paper, and I'm waffling with which side to use. I'm thinking I like the little bubbles here. This is from last year's In Colors. So this is actually Petunia Pop. Now, Strawberry Slush would work great. I'm going to show you another option I did later. Timid Tiger, there's all these colors, any kind of colors that you could make a drink out of, you could do with this. So I got another piece of coordinating paper. It is 4 1/4 by 3. It's just a little bit bigger. The area I'm going to stamp is actually 4 by 3. So for starting my stamping, I'm going to pull out my insert so I don't forget to stamp that and stamp on the front. I've got the two different shapes of glasses, so just for some variation here. So I am going to, let's start with the big tall glass. And I'm just going to put this at a cute little angle. And I'm doing this in gray granite. And now I'm going to stamp the other shorter glass. I'm going to make them look like they're clinking or, you know, doing a cheers here. Yep, they overlapped. Okay. And then I'm going to put another one inside my card, kind of just going off the page there. So that is two of my shapes there that I'm going to work with. So I'm going to set that ink aside. I could have stamped the ice cubes in gray as well. I'm using Basic Beige. This is going to make them a little bit lighter. So I'm going to put them, let's see, on the low side would be over here and then over here. So you can see it's still a very neutral color. It's just a little bit different, and I was being intentional with that. Now what I want to do is add some fruits and some colors. I am going to do some coloring with pencils. I've got some watercolor pencils here. So what I want to add before I think I start coloring is let's do some Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to go, this is obviously darker, but I'm going to do some blackberries in this glass. And this ink pad has always been very, very tight. I want to make sure I don't get it on me. So I'm going to add a couple of these, three maybe, dark blackberries down in this glass. Aren't they cute? I didn't get all the ink to release. There we go. Let's try it. So let's put 3 of those. And then maybe I will use my Petunia Pop. So it's pink and not quite red. We'll see what this looks like. But I was going to add a cherry too. So let me take the stamp off and get my little block here. And I can always color this later with a pencil and make that a little darker or make it a little more red. I'll play with that. But I did want to put a glass there, or put a cherry in that glass. So the next thing I want to do is add this sprig. To me, it looks like rosemary. It's kind of leafy like a rosemary would be. So I'm going to make this another jaunty angle, sticking out of that glass like that. And then I need to add my cinnamon. And I think I'm going to change up where I'm going to do this. I was going to stamp Cheers to You. So let me play with this, see where it will fit. I didn't save myself a lot of room, but you know what? this is just a fun card, and I'm going to go with the Petunia Pop for this too. So let's put the word cheers over here, like this. And then the to you is a tiny little stamp. I got to think about where I want to put this. Cheers to you could go down here. It could go, yeah, I think I want to keep all my sentiments on that side now. Cheers to you. And I'm not going to stamp anything, a sentiment on the inside, because I haven't decided yet. I just remembered I was going to put the leaves, that rosemary or whatever that herb is, in here as well. So let's do this. And I might just stamp this off so it's not, I didn't do that very well. So it's not quite as bold in here. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I've got a little decoration there. So what I was saying was, this could say congratulations. It could say happy birthday. It could say happy anniversary. I haven't decided yet. Cheers to you is a celebratory card. It can be used for just about anything. What I want to do before I put all the inks away is just ink up the edges here and give it a little bit of a decorative border like that. Okay, now I think I'm done. So now I'm going to start coloring. I'm going to use a lighter color, I think, for this glass. So, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to make it look like it was a lemonade or a lemon flavored drink, or if I wanted to give it a little bit of a coral tinge. So I may start with the yellow first, and I'm looking at kind of the way the glass is angled to say, well, that's where the liquid would be. And I am going to mix this up because that looks so light. So let's put a little bit of coral in there too. And I'm gonna try to make the ice cubes lighter so that they actually do show through. Okay, so I've got that. And I'm gonna do the same thing down here before I start with my blender brush. And put a little yellow on those ice cubes. And just a tinge of this, make it look like it's settled on the bottom. I'm just playing. These can be any colors you want. And so now I'm just going to blend this and put a little bit of color over the ice cubes so they still pop. It looks like they're sitting against the side of the glass. At least that's what I think it looks like. So now I'm going to blend this. I've got a little bit of color and texture here, just like that. Keeping it simple, and clean that off. Now I'm going to mix the two colors I think I want to use in here are the Rich Razzleberry Pencil and the Melon Mambo, which is close to the Petunia Pop. It's kind of as close as I can get. So this is going to be kind of a berry flavored drink. I don't know what it could be. It could be just about anything. It could be a fruit punch. It could be a rum punch. It could be anything you want it to be. I'm just going to make up some colors here. I'm going to make it kind of two-toned. There we go. And then maybe I'm going to put some darker color where these berries are so that they really pop, floating in the bottom here. There we go. Let's see how I like this before I start adding more color. And then I'll have to decide if I'm going to make that cherry an actual red, because I'm leaning that direction. So let me kind of go around the edges here first. And I was trying to be cautious, and I've got a little extra color over the lines. I may have to show you my trick for that. And now I'm going to see if I can make these a little darker. I can always add more. It's harder to take away, but I can add more. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is add some darker color here to the berries so that they really pop. And I really didn't even have to do that, but I will. I'll add a little. And I think to make that cherry really pop, let's try this. I'm going to use my Stampin' Blend. And, ooh, yeah. Now it looks like a big, bold cherry. So it's hanging off the side of the glass, which makes me think I need to actually bring the level of my beverage up so that it's in the glass. So let's do that. This is a full glass. This person hasn't had a sip yet, but they're saying cheers. So let's do, there we go. And just give this a little texture. Give it a little, here we go. Okay. So you see how easy it is to change your mind, add to it, subtract. So my trick is if I go a little over, I have one of these sand erasers, which especially for watercolor pencil, it will just help make that disappear. You have to be careful with this. You can't go too far. It will take the edge off the paper. You are literally lifting a little bit of the paper, but I just kind of made that disappear. Okay, I think I'm about ready to start assembling, but let me pull one more pencil out of my old set here, and that is Basic Gray. I like to kind of put a shadow as if this was sitting, you know, on a tabletop or a countertop, and it just kind of helps to ground the image. And now I'm going to make this sort of disappear too and just blend this out. But it just, I mean, an artist would do that. I never would say I'm an artist, but it just, it gives it, like I said, a little bit of grounding. Okay, I'm ready to start assembling. So you can kind of see how this is going to go together. I will put my insert in here. I may or may not ever stamp anything in there because it's easy just to write a big happy whatever the occasion is. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations, whatever it may be. The cheers to you kind of says it all on the front. So I will wait and not put anything inside here for now. I'm looking like I didn't put much orange in there, but that's okay. It's just a little bit different. All the drinks can be, all the beverages can be different. So I'm going to add this Petunia Pop layer. Like I said, this card can be cute in a whole bunch of different colors. Or if you've got a rainbow paper, use that and make all the drinks different. I did mix this one up just a little bit. I think I'll use my Stampin' Seal to add this layer. And I did keep this pretty simple. It was a little bit of watercoloring, you know, with the pencils, but mostly this was just stamping. If I had stamped the cherry in bright red, it might have, let's go this way. So, cheers to you. The last two steps, with this suite comes this really pretty gold ribbon. It's almost see-through. You'll see that when I put it down. I've already tied it into a bow. So it's gold and a little white or almost see-through. And I left it large because I was going to see how much I wanted to trim. But I'm thinking it needs just a little bow over on the side, maybe in the corner here. And so let's do that. I've got my glue dots right here, ready and waiting. And I will put that pretty bow right on top. Makes it look more festive. And then, of course, the last step, these drinks have to, or the ice cubes, have to have a little bit of shimmer. So I'm going to add just a little shimmer of Wink of Stella here. I want to make sure I didn't pick up any of that colored pencil. Put it on my yellow and make sure I put a heavier dose right here on these ice cubes so that they sparkle and shimmer. And I'll put a few dabs on my little blackberries there. So there you have it. I did a pretty simple card. No die cutting today, but you can see with what I showed you of this bundle that's coming. So I made these bold, colorful, festive, left the inside blank for right now. I'll show you another one I did. This was in Pretty in Pink. So I used strawberries on this. I didn't go quite as bold with blackberries, which is why I had some more subtle colors. This one also says cheers to you. I did make it a birthday. And, well, actually, yeah, birthday cheers. I found this in another stamp set. This is an old retired set, but I decided it was the perfect sentiment to go with a card like this. You know, the cheers to you and then birthday cheers, it was just perfect. So just some ideas how to use this new stamp set. Lots of fun coming with the cheers and sips because it is just a celebration of drinks. And you can see with the umbrella, there's going to be some party umbrellas and some really fun stuff coming. So thanks for joining me today. If you like the products and the projects you've seen here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. And I am on the Stampin' Up! Network. It's Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. Stay tuned for the next video.